You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, a 16-year-old driver leads police on a high-speed chase, hitting speeds of more than 100 miles an hour while weaving through traffic.
Also, local builders and organizations team up for affordable housing in Pittsburgh.
And aside from some patchy drizzle this morning, we do have more showers on the way, as you can see on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. A look at your forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner, just after 7 a.m. on this Monday, November the 24th, coming up on Thanksgiving. Hope we get some of that shopping done. And of course, then you'll be doing the gift shopping following Thanksgiving for those of you brave enough to go out into those crowds on Black Friday. And it's going to feel a lot like Thanksgiving when we get closer, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But as we get closer to Thanksgiving, some local groups helping those out, some of those in need, helping them out.
Yeah, a Joplin-based nonprofit is giving back to local heroes for Thanksgiving.
And KOAM's Mitch Adams shares their heartfelt effort.
Some folks who have served our country may not be so fortunate to celebrate Thanksgiving with a meal. That's why a local nonprofit is extending a hand and helping those in need this Thanksgiving season.
What we're doing is we went out to the VA, we went to Independent Living Center, Area Agency of the Aging, Cornerstone Caregiving, and had them supply a list of local veterans that kind of are in need or not as blessed as others. And so we're building baskets and we're going to deliver it to them.
Brian Jones, vice president of Our Veterans First, says that getting volunteers for this event wasn't as hard as you might think.
This is much more fun and much more engaging than just sitting behind a desk answering a phone that rings once every couple of hours, whatever. So this is getting volunteers for this is a little bit easier than some of our other stuff. But, they have the heart for it, and that's what it takes.
The organization wants to show the community that no matter your background, helping others is always a positive.
It doesn't matter what your beliefs are. It doesn't matter. We can still work together, and we don't know the veterans specifically that these baskets are going to, but we can all come together and have a common cause and make sure that everyone succeeds in the end.
Reporting in Joplin, Missouri, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
According to Jones, the organization made 59 baskets in total and will be delivering to cities including Neosho, Webb City, and more.
And of course, the holidays always bring out the best in folks. It's where we get more of these stories of those helping others out. But these things happen year-round as well. Generosity of others sometimes is just incredible.
Thanksgiving is all about showing who you're thankful for and what you're grateful for, and what better way than to show your gratitude to some local veterans.
Absolutely. And we've got some showers, even some thunderstorm chances for us today. Right now, though, the majority of us are dry in terms of things not falling from the sky, but the roads are still wet. You can see from our camera downtown Pittsburgh. We had that rain overnight. Actually had some rain on my drive in this morning. Nothing showing up on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, but like I said, we could get some drizzle out there. It's just that's something the radar beam really can't see. Our camera 7th and range line cloudy, wet down there. Same from the MoDOT camera, 32nd and range line in Joplin as well. As I mentioned, the Skywatch Storm Tracker, at least in our immediate area, is clear, but off to our south, showers and even a few thunderstorms will continue to build in between our region and Oklahoma City. We'll get more showers and again, perhaps a thunderstorm or two as we head into through the morning, into the afternoon and evening. We also have that patchy, dense fog out there. Most of the morning, it's been along and west of the 69 corridor. You can see Iola up there at about 1.5 miles visibility. Yates Center just under 4, and we've got Chanute, Fredonia, Sedan, Independence with reduced visibilities as well. So slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. And of course, with the roads being wet and with leaves on some of these roads, that increases your stopping distance. So just, again, really slow down and be cautious this morning. Temperatures have been really hovering all morning long in the low 50s. We've had some upper 40s. We got Stockton at 49. Monette has been sitting at 46 since about 5 o'clock this morning. That temperature has not moved. Same with Cassville at 49. Those two temperatures have not moved all morning. Most of these temperatures haven't moved all morning either, and they won't move a lot through the daytime hours today. Now, as the rain increases again through the morning into the afternoon, showers, perhaps a thunderstorm or two are possible. No severe weather is expected. The big thing with any thunderstorm activity is when thunder roars, head indoors. The best window for any thunderstorm activity looks to be from 2 to 6, but could we get some ahead of that and after that? Of course we could. Rain will eventually come to an end late this evening, but in between here and there, showers, low 50s by 9, mid 50s by noon, upper 50s for our highs. Those south winds occasionally gusting upwards of 20 miles an hour. We're going to talk more about the rain, about that big cool down that's expected tomorrow night, and of course take a look at Thanksgiving here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. Just before 10 o'clock Saturday night, Webb City police officers spotted a pickup driving erratically, believed to be a possible DWI. Police say the 16-year-old driver took off, hitting speeds over 100 miles an hour and weaving through traffic. Troopers with Missouri State Highway Patrol and Jasper County deputies joined in before the truck finally stopped. He was arrested, ticketed for multiple offenses, and released to his parents. Officers say they'll submit felony fleeing charges to the juvenile office under Missouri's new Valentine's Law, which makes running from a traffic stop a felony, regardless of the driver's age. The first 10 homes in Pittsburgh City's Housing Incentive Program, also known as CHIP, are taking shape. This weekend, the community got a chance to tour a few of the new homes. City officials say it's inspiring to see partners come together to create affordable housing, with several local builders and organizations helping make these homes a reality. The CHIP program provides grant funding to contractors once the home is built and sold to a qualified buyer, helping expand access to quality, affordable housing in the community.
I think affordable housing is great. I think it's something every city needs, but Pittsburgh especially. And it's a big personal mission for all of us to be a part of that. And we really look forward to keeping it going.
CHIP aims to create lasting opportunities for families in Pittsburgh. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, Lori Langley is in the studio to show us how to make one of her delicious recipes, just in time for the holiday. Well, welcome back. Lori Langley's in the studio this morning teaching us how to make a cake recipe that's just perfect for Thanksgiving.
It really is. It's something you can do up ahead. You can do this on Wednesday, pop it in the fridge and have it ready to go for Thursday on Thanksgiving. And it's something a little bit different. Everybody brings the pumpkin pie, the pecan things, you know, the apple. This is just a little bit something different that I think everybody's going to enjoy. So all I've got ready to go here is my cake batter, and that was pretty basic: flour, sugar, a little baking soda and salt, and then of course our eggs. But we added in that entire can of crushed pineapple, juice and all.
Yes.
So that really made it a nice different texture, as well as gave us all of our liquid ingredients. So I've got my pan here. This is just 9 by 13. I sprayed it with that baking spray, so that's going to make this really easy to get out of the pan when we go to serve it. And you know, when you have everybody around for Thanksgiving, you never have enough utensils. It's always nice when you have something easy to pop out of the pan.
Yes.
We're going to pour that entire mixture in there, kind of level it out a little bit. But it's not ready to go in the oven just yet. We've got to add this really yummy, sort of caramely, crunchy topping. And that is so simple. We are just going to take a cup of pretty small chopped pecans. This is probably the most expensive ingredient that we've added to this cake. And we're going to add an equal cup of brown sugar. And then we just want to toss those two things together a little bit, just make sure that they're kind of incorporated.
Yeah.
We don't need to add any liquid to that. We just want to make sure that it's easy to spread and you're getting some of both all over your cake. So once that brown sugar is broken up, because that was well packed, and you can use light brown or dark brown. Honestly, dark brown is really good. You get almost that more molasses flavor out of the dark brown sugar. So personal preference, either one, whatever you got on hand. And then we're just going to sprinkle this on the top of our batter. And we're not going to mix it in. We want to really coat it, and this is going to make a pretty solid coating on top of this 9 by 13 layer.
And that's just so easy to do.
So simple. Again, very few bowls. We could have done this in our other dirty bowl already. We didn't even have to get another one out. Minimal of dishes, because we know you're going to have plenty of those already. But we want to just coat it evenly. Make sure you get those pecans well incorporated so that they're not all in a lump, and that we get some of that brown sugar. So as this bakes, it's going to kind of melt and make that almost crunchy, caramely layer to the top. It's just going to be perfect. You want to have your oven preheated to 350. If you are using a light or aluminum pan like this, you can even bake this on a cookie sheet just kind of for safety. Because as anybody knows that uses these regularly like I do, sometimes they can be a little flexible when you have them full of a very heavy batter. So just be careful with that. You're gonna bake this for about 45 minutes. When I did mine last night, it was about spot on to 45 minutes, and just test it with that toothpick in the middle like any other cake. The beauty of this is while this is baking, once your timer is at about 30 minutes that has baked, you're going to want to start on this yummy topping. So when we come back, we're going to show you that. And as soon as that cake comes out, we pour this on top, and that is the final bit.
Perfect. Well, it already is looking so good, so I'm so excited to see it come together. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back. Lori Langley's in the studio with this morning, and she's teaching us how to make this pineapple pecan cake that already smells great and is just perfect for Thanksgiving.
Oh, it really is. And you brought up a great point. A lot of you may be reminded of a hummingbird cake, or some recipes are even called a granny cake. It's got a lot of iterations over its lifetime, but this is kind of an old-fashioned recipe that I think everybody will recognize and enjoy. And like we said, it's just a little break from the pumpkin pie that everybody else will bring. So it kind of makes you stand out. But we've got our cake. This is ready to go in the oven. And after that has baked for about 30 minutes while it's finishing off that last 15, 20 minutes in the oven, you can start to make a kind of a glaze that's going to go on top, and almost like a poke cake where you're going to pour that syrup over the top.
Yes.
That's what we're going to do. So when you go to KOAM News Now later and you look up that recipe, the traditional way of doing that is with a cup of evaporated milk and some sugar. Absolutely works great. I love that. When I was finishing up on this yesterday, I actually got a little distracted and scorched my batch of that, and then I didn't have any more evaporated milk at the moment. So plan B is always sweetened condensed milk. Essentially, it's just your milk that's already been cooked down with the sugar in it. So don't add the extra sugar if you go with the sweetened condensed milk, and it is yummy either way. So all I've got in my little bowl over here is a stick of butter that's already completely melted. And I'm just warming that sweetened condensed milk a little bit so that it will start to mix together, because it takes a minute to get that oil and water base to kind of combine. And once that is thoroughly mixed, it's going to take a minute, and it's going to look a little funky for a minute. It looks very oily right off the bat. Same with your evaporated milk. If you do the evaporated milk just to make sure that your sugar is nice and melted, you want to do that to a low boil for about 1 minute. And that's going to take care of any grittiness left from the sugar, and it's going to make sure that that's all well combined. So once those are really well mixed together, and whether you've boiled it for a minute or just melted it, you'll add a little splash of vanilla at the end. And that way that is warming and kind of simmering to the side as soon as that cake comes out of the oven. So again, not on our not baked one here. This is going to go on our baked cake as it comes out of the oven. And you can see this is a beautiful golden brown on the top. You get that crunchy layer where that brown sugar has really melted and baked in. And then you're going to pour this entire batch over the top of that. And you want to do it kind of slowly. Pour it around those edges, let it soak in a little bit, pour a little more across the top. Kind of do it gradually as you go across, because it is quite a bit of liquid. And then you're going to pop this in the refrigerator, best overnight, really. It gives time for those ingredients and those flavors to really melt together and create that yummy texture. Then when you cut it, you can see this is a really thick, dense cake, wonderful soft flavors on the bottom, crunchy texture on the top. So it's just all the bits of Thanksgiving all together in one pan.
An amazing thing about being kind of like a bake and then sit is you don't have to worry about it on Thanksgiving Day. You've already got it done.
Exactly. Pop that in the fridge if there's room somewhere to the back, and just forget about it. Pull that out, throw a little Cool Whip on the corner. It's going to go fast.
Perfect.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 7:22 now on this Monday morning. Again, starting with the fog tracker, where along and to the west of the 69 corridor, especially into southeast Kansas, we've had some patchy fog and some dense fog out there. Iola, just over a mile visibility, so that's some pretty dense fog up there. Yates Center, Chanute, Fredonia, Sedan, Independence, all with reduced visibility. So again, slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. Watch out, too, because the roads are wet. You got wet leaves on some of these roadways. That increases your stopping distance, and so you just need to be extra cautious as you're headed out this morning. Skywatch Storm Tracker in our immediate area, nothing showing up out there. Could we have some drizzle? We certainly could, but the radar beam is not going to bounce off of that. So that's why if you're getting drizzle and you're like, well, I don't see it on here, what's going on? It's because drizzle's just too finite. It's too thin, really, for the radar beam to see. I said thin. It's small. You kind of get the idea. What we do have, though, is showers continuing to increase a bit off to our south and west. We've got some now building south of Oklahoma City, and we'll eventually get more showers and even a thunderstorm or two in here as we head through the morning into the afternoon and evening. Now, the best window for any thunderstorm activity looks to be from 2 to 6. Could we get some before that or after that? Yes, we could, but that looks to be the best window. And we're not expecting any severe weather, but you do want to remember when thunder roars, head indoors. Showers, thunderstorms, they'll be scattered still. So again, some of you will get breaks while others are getting rain, then others will get rain while the other folks are getting breaks, and that'll be the case all the way into the late evening hours as well. You can see by 9 o'clock tonight, still scattered showers, and again, perhaps a rumble of thunder or two. By about 11 o'clock midnight, this should begin wrapping up for us, leaving us with cloudy skies, calm winds overnight. And as we head into our Tuesday, northwest winds pick up, start gusting up to 20. We're still cloudy for the first portion of the day. And then as this boundary pushes through, it takes the clouds with it and brings back behind it some colder air. And we're going to get pretty darn cold by tomorrow night into the holiday up here. So Wednesday, not bad. We've got a partly cloudy skies. Temperatures, though, will be chilly and in some cases a bit below normal across the area. But we will be dry, and we're still looking to be dry heading into Thanksgiving. Here's a look at those temperatures for tomorrow. So again, ahead of that, take a look. We got upper 50s and some low 60s out there. But then by 5, there's that boundary. Here comes the colder air. Yates Center, Chanute, Fort Scott already dropping back. While ahead of it, you're still somewhat mild. But as we go overnight and into Wednesday morning, we end up falling back into the low 30s. And by Wednesday afternoon, the best we're going to do is some upper 40s and maybe a couple of 50-degree readings here and there. So get ready for that colder air because it is, on the way. All right, scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder or two through the morning. Cloudy skies, low 50s to start, mid 50s by 11. Not a lot of movement on those temperatures. Our highs today into the upper 50s. We'll go low 50s tonight. About 60 tomorrow, and then we get that colder air, low 30s by Tuesday night, mid to upper 40s for Wednesday and Thanksgiving, some upper 40s, low 50s for Black Friday shopping, cold overnight lows, so if you're heading out early Thanksgiving morning, be prepared for that. Rain chances build in late Friday into the weekend, and yes, that does say wintry mix next Tuesday, but we're still several days away, and as you can see, at least right now, any chances of precipitation next Tuesday are pretty low, but we'll keep an eye on that for you, of course. Otherwise, it's just going to be cold as we enter the first week of December. That's check your forecast. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News up next.
4 States' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:28. I'm Samantha Walker. In Providence, Rhode Island, a 16-year-old high school student and a Superior Court intern were detained by ICE on Thursday, but it was a case of mistaken identity. The intern was released after a judge intervened. Ryan Medeiros has more.
ICE is not welcome here.
ICE agents spotted outside the Superior Courthouse on South Main Street in Providence Thursday morning.
Back up. Hey, you back up, man.
An anti-ICE protest had already been planned for that afternoon at the courthouse, and demonstrators soon swarmed the scene.
No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here.
Agents taking a person into custody, moving him from one unmarked SUV to another, before eventually letting him go.
Let him go! Let him go! Let him go!
The agents taking off minutes later.
Shame!
Shortly after, the anti-ICE protest commenced behind the courthouse. Protesters from the Deportation Defense Line, which notifies people through a chat of ICE sightings in the area, are asking the Chief Justice of the state Supreme Court to make court hearings virtual. Organizers say they want that to happen because it's not the first time they've seen ICE here.
ICE is not welcome here!
We're now told that person who was briefly detained by ICE is a high schooler who was an intern at the Superior Court.
The intern was coming outside the courthouse. It's not uncommon that court staff step outside for a break.
A spokesperson for the court tells ABC6 the Superior Court judge intervened, telling ICE they had the wrong person. In a statement, Supreme Court Chief Justice Paul Sattel said in part, "This egregious incident underscores both the community's and the judiciary's concerns about how ICE is conducting its operations in Rhode Island." Protesters say they're hoping to curb these type of interactions by making virtual court hearings more accessible.
We don't believe that any of our immigrant community members should have to risk being kidnapped, especially while they're simply trying to conduct their legal business.
Judge Sattel says after Thursday's incident, he believes the judiciary needs to focus on ways to enhance access to virtual hearings. We've reached out to ICE for comment on the incident and haven't heard back.
Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we are going to start with that live look from downtown Pittsburgh, where you can see we've got the cloudy skies, we got some wet roadways, we've got some drizzle here and there. It's not going to show up on radar, of course, but we do have some of that out there. Our camera, 7th and Range Line in Joplin, also showing the cloudy skies out there as well. And as we take a look at the MoDOT camera at 32nd and Range Line, wouldn't you know it, cloudy skies once again, and still some somewhat wet roadways. So again, Skywatch Storm Tracker, there's nothing in our immediate area, but you can see off to our south and west, we have a few showers out there, even a few rumbles of thunder, and that's going to continue to be the case as we get additional development that'll begin pushing into the area as we head through the morning and into the afternoon. We also have some dense fog. Iola, about a mile of visibility. Yates Center, just over 3. Chanute, Fredonia, Sedan, Independence, all with reduced visibilities as well. Fort Scott down a bit, just over 7 miles. So remember, low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them, and slow down, especially with the wet roads. You don't want to go sliding. Those that increases your stopping distance by quite a bit as well. We've been hovering in the low 50s most of the morning, starting to see getting close to mid 50s. Veneta and Grove both at 54. Monette, finally, since 5 a.m. Temperature hasn't moved. You're up 2 degrees from 46 to 48, but still the cool spot in our area with Stockton at 49. Scattered showers and again some thunderstorms will be possible. No severe weather expected. Now the best window for any storm activity looks to be from 2 to 6, but could we get some rumbles of thunder ahead of that or after that? We certainly could, just nothing severe. So just remember, when thunder roars, head indoors. Our temperatures, again, don't do a lot of moving. They haven't already. They won't do much more. Low 50s by 9, mid 50s by noon, upper 50s for those highs. Again, showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two. South winds gusting to 20. We're having another look at your forecast, talk about that colder air on the way tomorrow and how Thanksgiving's looking here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Thanks, Chris. Weeks after being released from ICE custody, a Maryland mother has been deported to Vietnam. The woman has not been in Vietnam since she was a child, but her attorney says her client's case had some unique challenges. Sharon Yo reports.
This is the last photo taken of Melissa Tran in the United States. Weeks after a federal judge ordered her release from Tacoma's detention center, Vietnam approved ICE's deportation request and issued Tran a passport. ICE deported her this week.
I'm just heartbroken that it ended this way.
Jenny Pascarella is with the Seattle Clemency Project. She was responsible for freeing Tran from detention by using a centuries-old legal tool that lets detainees ask a judge to review their confinement. This was Tran last month, shortly after she went home to Hagerstown, Maryland, reuniting with her kids and husband.
I'm grateful for them, and I'm thankful that, like I said, for everything that they've done to my family and myself.
But release from custody doesn't end someone's immigration case.
It didn't undo the fact that she has this really old deportation order that was based on a really old criminal conviction from when she was 18 and in Virginia.
Pascarella says it's especially complex for people from certain countries.
For all of these folks from Vietnam and Cambodia and Laos or other countries that historically haven't accepted their citizens for deportation, those deportation orders are valid and they can be executed as long as the government obtains the passport or the travel document to be able to send them back.
The sudden swing from freedom to forced removal is now leaving a family without a wife and mother, something Pascarella says many in the U.S. will never understand.
In these cases of individuals who have been here their whole lives, they have everything at stake. I think most people can wrap their heads around how shocking it would be to be suddenly removed from the only country that you know and have any connection to.
Well, Saturday, downtown Chanute had a full day of holiday fun, hosting a Western-themed parade. Area organizations took part, bringing out horses, festive floats, and plenty of holiday spirit. After the parade, the celebration continued with a Christmas music program at the Central Park Pavilion with performers from across the region and out of state. The Nevada Animal Shelter teamed up with Max Ford of Nevada for Drive for Your Community, a national program put on by the Ford Motor Company. Throughout the day, the community stopped by for a simple way to support local pets. Organizers say there was no pressure and no sales pitch, just a quick drive for a good cause, helping provide care and second chances for shelter animals. Students in Fredonia had the chance to take a plunge for Special Olympics Kansas. KOAM's Mitch Adams brings us the chilly details.
Some schools even cancel classes for half the day just for this event.
It may be cold and it may be wet, but students and staff at Fredonia Junior High School braved the conditions to support Special Olympics Kansas.
The teachers love it as the money that we raise, part of it goes back to their schools, unified programming, so that they can do more events and spread the word about what Special Olympics Kansas is doing.
Students have been raising funds for the organization, which all led up to the plunge itself.
I hear from students that it's a lot of fun being able to go out into their local businesses to fundraise to help out Special Olympics Kansas athletes. And on the day of the plunge, it's an amazing event.
Plunge may be a lot of fun, but Special Olympics Kansas hopes the kids are able to realize the support they bring to the table.
Once they get out of the pool and dry off and then go back to class, they can take away that, hey, it wasn't just I jumped into a cold pool of water. It's, hey, I did this so that this athlete who is also my classmate or my friend, can have a voice in their community.
Reporting in Fredonia, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Coming up next, the Thanksgiving travel rush begins tomorrow. TSA prepares to screen nearly 18 million passengers as the airports gear up for their busiest days of the year. In Consumer Watch, this week kicks off the busiest holiday travel season. The Federal Aviation Administration says it expects tomorrow to be the peak day for air travel, with more than 52,000 flights. The Wednesday before Thanksgiving and the Sunday after are also predicted to be the other two busiest flying days, with more than 51,000 flights expected each day. The Transportation Security Administration says it expects to screen nearly 18 million people between tomorrow and Sunday. Tonight, lucky Powerball players have a shot at winning the game's estimated $654 million jackpot. That's the second largest Powerball prize of the year so far. The estimated cash value is over $303 million. And this Black Friday, Pepsi is releasing its first prebiotic cola. It comes months after the company purchased prebiotic soda brand Poppi for nearly $2 billion. The new cola line takes on rivals Olipop and Coca-Cola's Simply Pop. Pepsi's prebiotic cola will first launch online at multiple retailer websites, including Amazon, Walmart, and Kroger, for a limited time. The soft drink line is expected to hit store shelves sometime next year. Right now, the Supreme Court is weighing President Donald Trump's use of emergency powers to implement his tariffs. But in the meantime, soybean farmers are among those feeling the impact of the trade war. Maribel Gonzalez has the latest on the soybean struggles.
U.S. soybean farmers are stuck in uncertainty. Tariffs have put a strain on their exports and costs. And while they're waiting to see if China follows through on its commitment to purchase this year's soybeans, they're also having to make decisions now to plan for next year's harvest. John Bartman is a fifth-generation soybean farmer in Illinois. His crops contribute to the U.S.'s largest agricultural export, which last year valued at more than $24 billion, according to USDA data. China bought 53% of those exports, but this past September imported zero.
It's what we do in this country. We export food, and we can't do that right now.
In May, China placed an effective embargo on U.S. soybeans in retaliation to Trump administration tariffs, instead buying soybeans from other countries. But in October, some hope for struggling farmers like Bartman when the U.S. met with China.
The United States was able to get the Chinese to back down from a prohibition of rare earth metals exports to the U.S. And in exchange, the U.S. would drop half of that fentanyl tariff. Also, China would buy 25 million metric tons of soybeans every year, beginning this year.
However, new data from the Agriculture Department shows China has made only 2 purchases of soybeans, totaling 232,000 metric tons of soybeans since the summit. The Soybean Association said although that number has gone up, it's still well below the 12 million metric tons China promised to buy by year's end.
We have cautious optimism that it'll take place, but in reality, actions ultimately are the deciding factor here.
The Trump administration has proposed a massive bailout of at least $10 billion for American farmers hurt by the trade war, but that is still pending. Reporting in Los Angeles, I'm Maribel Gonzalez.
And those are our top consumer stories. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
There we go. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:45 now on this Monday morning. We're starting with the fog tracker, where again, along and west of 69, primarily in the southeastern Kansas is where we've seen some of our denser fog. Iola now is just below a mile of visibility. Yates Center just over 3, and we've got Chanute, Fredonia, Sedan, Independence, and Parsons, all with reduced visibilities, as is Fort Scott now, down to about 7 miles. So again, low beams, not your high beams, fog lights if you've got them. And you really do need to slow down, because with the wet roadways and with leaves on those roads in some cases, that increases your stopping distance by quite a bit. So just do be cautious this morning. All right, finally starting to get a few of these light showers pushing into western Delaware County. Skywatch Storm Tracker otherwise not picking up on much. We've got some patchy drizzle here and there, but that will not show up on radar. And you can see there's now renewed lightning strikes with some of this activity. So again, nothing strong, nothing severe, but we could get some thunderstorm activity with these showers as they push through the area today. So the biggest thing is just going to be when thunder roars, head indoors. Now for us, the best window for any kind of thunderstorm activity looks to be from 2 to 6, but as we've seen this morning with some of those showers, we could get it really anytime, so that we've got a better window from 2 to 6. But could we get some thunderstorms ahead of that or after that? Yes, we could. But again, nothing severe expected. Just watch out for that lightning. These will also be scattered showers and storms, so it's not going to be rain everywhere all at once. Some of you will be getting rain, others will not, and vice versa. These will continue scattered throughout the day into the late evening hours. It should be about 11 o'clock, maybe midnight. I think the last of the main showers begin to roll out of the area. We'll be cloudy overnight, and we'll be cloudy for the first portion of our Tuesday. And then we'll get back on the backside of this whole system. We have a boundary that'll come through in the evening, and we'll have northwest winds gusting upwards of 20. And that boundary, you can almost follow it. Just ignore that rain. We're not looking at any shower chances tomorrow. But as that boundary pushes through, temperatures begin to drop, and the skies will begin to clear out. And for our Wednesday, we look good. We've got partly cloudy skies, so just a few clouds here and there, but we have considerably cooler temperatures out there. In fact, taking a look at temperatures from Tuesday just into Wednesday, ahead of this, we're not bad. Upper 50s, low 60s, so above normal, mild out there. But as that boundary approaches, here we are at 5. We've got Yates Center, Chanute, Fort Scott. Temperatures begin dropping in the evening, and they'll eventually drop for all of us, and we'll gradually fall back into the low 30s. From late Tuesday into Wednesday, and then highs on Wednesday not moving much. Upper 40s, maybe a couple of 50-degree readings out there, so get ready for that colder air. All right, scattered showers throughout the morning, perhaps a rumble of thunder or two. Low 50s to start, mid 50s by 11 o'clock this morning. We're looking at highs today into the upper 50s out there, with those south winds occasionally gusting upwards of 20 miles an hour. As we head into the evening, temperatures again, they don't move much, but they'll eventually fall back into the low 50s, and will be dry overnight, cloudy, low 50s out there, with those winds at a calm pace for us, which will be nice before they pick up again tomorrow. As I mentioned, about 60, then down in the low 30s. Mid mid-upper 40s Wednesday and Thanksgiving. We're looking at upper 20s, low 30s from Wednesday into Thanksgiving. So if you're heading out early, be prepared for that. It's going to be a bit cold out there. And we'll be a bit chilly for Black Friday as well. Upper 30s, low 40s. Our highs upper 40s and low 50s. And then later in the day, some showers roll in. More rain chances through the weekend. And yes, that is a wintry mix next Tuesday, but that's still several days away. And that overall chance pretty low. So it's something we'll keep an eye on. So don't panic out there. Don't go and get all the milk and bread while you're doing the Black Friday shopping. Just be aware that we are going to start to settle into some more wintry type temperatures, which means the potential for wintry precipitation here and there as well. Let's check out your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
At Central High School in Wisconsin, students are getting a taste of real-world skills
and helping their community at the same time.
Inside Central High School, the warm smell of cinnamon and cloves are filling the halls. That's because students in the family and consumer science classes are spending their week making 2 pumpkin pies, one to take home and another to donate.
Well, right now we're pinching the crust to put in our pie filling. We're making pumpkin pies for the community Thanksgiving dinner.
For some of these students, baking isn't new. Aaliyah and Elena have been in the same foods classes for years, learning techniques, trying new recipes, and building confidence along the way.
I think it was easy for us because we were provided the supplies to make them, but it's pretty straightforward if you find an easy recipe and you just can put it together.
Yesterday we made the filling. This is for 3 pies. It's pumpkin filling and then a bunch of different spices. That was fun.
Their teacher, Carmen Palmy, says the lesson goes far beyond the pumpkin and the pie crust.
What we're really trying to teach them is how to be safe in the kitchen, how to, those basic skills like measuring and knives. And this week we learned to roast pumpkins, which means we've learned to roast any kind of squash, and how to clean up after themselves properly, prepare food in a safe and sanitary manner. And then those are just life skills that they get to take with them when they leave here.
This year, Central's culinary classes are donating 85 pies, each one baked, wrapped, and frozen before volunteers pick them up for Thanksgiving Day.
It's really fun to watch them grow with their confidence when they start to master these skills.
And as the pies come out of the oven, students say the secret ingredient is simple: making something together that brings the community together too.
I just know we have fun making them.
Yeah, it's really meaningful to be able to help out.
Yeah, it means a lot.
Wow, 85 pies getting donated. That's a huge
number. That's a lot of pies, and I'm sure it'll help out a lot of folks up there as well. And some help for you. We got that patchy fog, some of it dense out there in the southeastern Kansas especially. Iola just under a mile of visibility. Yates Center just over 3. We've got Chanute, Fredonia, Sedan, Independence, and Parsons, as well as Fort Scott with some reduced visibilities, and now stretching into eastern Berry County. So just again, slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. Got some showers now pushing into parts of Delaware County. And if you take a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, you'll see there's been some embedded lightning within these showers. So we could get a shower, or we could get a thunderstorm or two with this activity. Now the best window again is from about 2 to 6, but could we get some thunder ahead of that and after that? We could. No severe weather is expected. The big thing is just remember, when thunder roars, head indoors. We'll have scattered showers and again a few thunderstorms throughout the day today. I'll continue into the late evening hours, and it eventually will begin to clear out after about midnight or so across the region. Cloudy for Tuesday. Cold air starts pushing in as we head into the evening hours out there. Skies will clear. Northwest winds tomorrow gusting upwards of 20. Ahead of the cold air, upper 50s rather, and low 60s. And as we head into the evening, temperatures drop and we're eventually back into the low 30s to start Wednesday. Now look at your forecast and wake up recap right after this.
This is your Wake Up Recap for November 24th, your top stories to start your day. Just before 10 o'clock Saturday night, Webb City officers spotted a pickup driving erratically, believed to be a possible DWI. Police say the 16-year-old driver took off, hitting speeds over 100 miles an hour and weaving through traffic. Troopers with Missouri State Highway Patrol and Jasper County deputies joined in before the truck finally stopped. He was arrested, ticketed for multiple offenses, and released to his parents. Officers say they'll submit felony fleeing charges to the juvenile office under Missouri's new Valentine's Law, which makes running from a traffic stop a felony regardless of the driver's age. That's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And again, a few scattered showers, perhaps a thunderstorm or two out there. No severe weather, just when thunder roars, head indoors. Upper 50s for those highs. South winds gusting to 20. We'll have a few showers, perhaps a rumble of thunder through the evening, wrapping up by about 11 o'clock midnight tonight. Cloudy overnight, low 50s with calm winds. Northwest winds tomorrow start gusting to 20. We'll start off mild, about 60 for the high, down in the low 30s though overnight behind some colder air. Chilly into the holiday weekend as we go into the mid to upper 40s, maybe some low 50s Friday. More rain into the weekend, and yes, we're watching that wintry mix next week. Nothing major expected, still several days out, but of course we'll keep an eye on it for you.
Definitely. Well, thanks, Chris.
And thank you all so much for joining us this morning. We're back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.